Well, my friends, Vikings are pretty tricky guys, and one of the ways that a Viking has of surviving in the winter is hand warmers. A hand warmer is a great thing. If uh, if you can keep your fingers warm, you can shoot. If your fingers go, you can't shoot. It doesn't matter about your feet being cold or snot in your nose. It's your fingers that control the shot. You have to keep them warm. This is a little hand warmer that I use. It's a fairly nice day today, but even if it was minus 20, this would work. And all you got to do is take this little stick that comes with it. This little stick will start to glow in a minute. And the purpose of the little box is to kind of snuff it, to keep a minimum amount of oxygen going in there so it just smolders. And it will smolder for about 3 hours. And you can just, that's all, just keep it, get it glowing, take it, put it inside the little snuff box. And now I'm just going to wait for about 5 minutes or so. This will glow down, then I will close it, and my fingers will be warm and toasty, and I'll be whacking that target. Anyhow, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, now so it's really nice to be outside again. Having a pretty good day for January. I'm going to take a couple of warm-up shots here. Okay. Could have been better. Have to draw it right out. Relax and let it fall into place. That was sweet. Okay, so those are the first 3 shots of the day, Just really glad to be out here, alive and kicking. It's abnormally warm. It was freezing last week, but now it's warmer. But anyhow, we're going to warm up and I'll show you a few little tricks. Here's our first shots of the day. So, see that low one there? That was the first shot. And then the next 2, wacko wacko. Okay, so that's how you get started. Just hold her on, shoulder to the target, draw it back, relax and let it settle in. And if you start off like this during the day, well, you'll probably end up as good as this, if not better, by evening. Anyhow, you guys have some fun. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, my friends, you see this? This is reality. That's reality. See this? That's reality. Hear my words? All the words of philosophers, politicians, communists, liberals, conservatives, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Jews, all these philosophies, they don't exist. They're all man's interpretation of this. But because we have billions of people, we have billions of interpretations, and they're all nonsense. The only reality is your own reality. See this? That's the real world. All words are man-made. Man is a silly little creature. who believes what he believes, or he believes what he's told to believe. All these ideas of gods and myths and fairies, they're all wonderful, quaint, neat, old ideas. You see this? That's reality. All the words that the wise men and the great men have told you are nonsense. There is only your own reality. I'm giving you the freedom to think. Go have some fun. I'll talk to you later. Well, the temperature sure is starting to drop off. It's supposed to go down about -6 tonight. Anyhow, this little hand warmer is coming in handy. My nose is cold. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Yeah. Anyhow. But they come in real handy. Real handy. Okay. Talk to you in a minute. Okay now. So, I'm starting to use my carbon arrows again. I find that the carbon arrows are much more consistent. Growth rings vary quite a bit. The carbon is extruded out of a machine, and it doesn't vary as much. Okay, so this is the arrows that I'm using right now. I've put 200 grain points on them. I tried 125, it wasn't coming around, 145, 175. When I got up to the 200 grain, it brought it around, so they're going in straight. I make my own feathers, banana feathers. I have a little chopper, so I just stand on it, it chops them out. They're full length, they're about 32 inches. And you know, I was looking at the an ancient arrow that was found in a barn in England, and it was 32 inches, but by the time you took in the account for the head and the knock, it was only about 29 3/4 inches. So all this stuff about the old English guys drawing, you know, 32, 33 inches past their ear and stuff, maybe so, but the arrows we find are only around 30 inches long, for whatever it's worth. But anyhow, that's the arrow I'm using. It's gold tip. It's gold tip traditional. It's 500 spine, and again, a nice heavy point, nice heavy arrow. They shoot great. And the groups that you get with the carbon arrow is just so much better than the groups that I get with my wood arrows. Okay? Anyhow, have some fun. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, my friends, so let's see if you can see the optimum line. Now I'm going to be moving my head out of the way. So I move my head to the left. You'll see my head go over and also turn. And what I'm doing is I'm moving my head over so it brings my right eye over to the line, and then I'll be turning my head so that I can find my anchor. Okay? So that's what we're doing here. So watch my head. Okay. And I'll tell you, it's always harder to shoot when the camera's on. Self-conscious. And talking and thinking, you know, for people, but you'll get the idea. So, 180 degrees. I look at the target. Now I'm going to move my head over and turn it so that it meets my draw. That my eye meets my draw. And that was on the right side of his tummy. But you'll get the idea. Right on his left nipple. Ooh. Move your head left so that your right eye is brought over to the center line. And then move your head. Okay? It all has to meet the draw line. Okay? Okay, so that's the idea. So what we're doing is standing 180 degrees, head at 90 to the target, swiveling around, putting it on. Now we're drawing it back and we move our head out of the way so that the right eye comes to the center. So head over, and now we want to get our anchor to meet our draw. So head over, so now the eye's in the right spot, and now as the head comes back, and you can feel that pressure, just keep moving that head until it just comes to the same spot. Now the eye's on, the anchor's on, the arm's on, you're on, okay? So that's how we're doing it. And, you know, again, it will allow you to get some pretty reasonable hits. Okay? Okay, guys. Have some fun. I'll be back. Okay, now. Okay, so I just took 6 shots without talking and blabbing and stuff, just so that you can see that it is possible to take 6 shots fairly consistently, fairly quickly. Again, I'm standing sideways to that target, twisting on. The arrow's on a bit of an angle. As I pull back, it will go straight. My arm is hanging completely relaxed. I move my head out of the way and move my head until I can see I'm looking straight along that arrow. That's just skill. You have to move your head over so that that right eye gets over, so that's on the center line. If it's like this, it's not on the center line, it's to the right of it. You're going to shoot left. Okay? Anyhow, if you do that kind of stuff and you don't talk too much, then you can get some reasonable hits fairly quickly, fairly centered. Okay, so that's the basics right there. Well, have fun, guys. Talk to you later.